What's up, everybody? It's time for Breaking the Ranks. I have 5 streamable wide receivers for you this week. Because number 1, there's injuries to guys. Number 2, the Rams and Bengals aren't playing, so there's like 80 guys that are gone from your list anyways. So let's kick it off at number 5 with Quintez Cephas. And you might be like, who is this person? I've never heard of him. You've heard of him. He's a really good player. Now, he's been inactive for the last couple of weeks. The reason why, he plays Kenny Galladay's position, okay? And now that Kenny Galladay is not going to play, guess who's going to be active this week? That's right, Quintez. He ran close to 30 routes per game in the 2 games when Galladay wasn't there. That was second on the team. And he's got the Vikings, who've allowed the 3rd most fantasy points per game to wide receivers this season. And now as I'm saying all this stuff, I want to move him up higher on the list because I think he's going to be really good. All right, number 4. Henry Ruggs in the Battle of Los Angeles against the LA Chargers. Yeah, I know exactly what I just said. He's available in 70% of NFL.com leagues. He's had a lot of air yards, 7 targets of 20-plus air yards this season, and he's really starting to come on. Now, last week against the Cleveland Browns, it was a good matchup, but the weather was not permitting. This time they're playing in a dome. Well, either game would have been in a dome, but I like the opportunity for him to get some deep shots from Derek Carr this week. Number 3, Mecole Hartman. Available 80% of NFL.com leagues. He's had at least 9 fantasy points in back-to-back games. I know it's always going to be a risk with the Kansas City Chiefs because there's so many guys on this team that you could go with. They got Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, the running backs, all that stuff. But you know what? They always designed run plays for him, and he's starting to get a lot of the targets that were typically going to Sammy Watkins. So I like him this week. I think this is a good matchup against the Carolina Panthers. I think he's going to get an opportunity. So if you're in a bind for a wide receiver, I like him. And number 2, I'm going to go with Darnell Mooney against the Tennessee Titans. He's available in 99% of NFL.com leagues. That 1% was the people who are watching Kimmy Checks and me on Fantasy Bites, where I told you Darnell Mooney was going to break out against the New Orleans Saints, and he absolutely did. He's got another great matchup this week against the Tennessee Titans, who've allowed the 2nd most fantasy points per game to wide receivers this season. They've allowed a top 15 wide receiver in 5 consecutive games, and this is the guy that they always go to when they want to go deep. I think it was Kyle Brandt on Good Morning Football who described the Bears' offense as run David Montgomery into the pile on 1st down, go deep to Mooney on 2nd, miss it, and then throw a miracle play for Allen Robinson. In any event, I still like Darnell Mooney. And number 1, what about Mike Williams of the LA Chargers? Now, Cynthia was talking about boomer bust players, Tyler Lockett, and Mike Williams kind of fits in the same category as well. He either makes catches like the one that you're watching right here where it's just amazing, one-handed grab, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest receiver I've ever seen. And then the following week, he'll have nothing. So it really is going to be tough to trust him week in and week out. But this is especially pertinent for anybody who is playing Justin Herbert. I like pairing these two. I like the stack here. He's had 100 yards in 2 of his last 3 games, 3 receiving touchdowns in his last 3 games combined, and 8 targets in 2 of his last 3. So that is going to be Mike Williams, my top priority pick here. And that was Breaking the Ranks. 5 dudes you can stream this week. And you know what? Move Cephas up that list. Put him around number 3, and I think you'll be all right.